Well, hello again to all the boys and girls out there in YouTube land watching. Georgia Beer Reviews back at you today with another one. And what I've got is a beer from the Duck-Rabbit Craft Brewery out of Farmville, North Carolina. Now, I've had several beers from the Duck-Rabbit Brewery, and from what I remember, I was not too impressed. Now, this beer actually was purchased in North Carolina, and it was canned on May 25th of this year. So it's pretty fresh. And it's in a can. The other Duck Rabbit Brewery beers I've had have been out of the bottle. This is also their flagship beer. Well, excuse me. Their flagship beer is the Milk Stout. So this version, they take their Milk Stout and they put in luscious North Carolina oysters. It says on the label, silky, roasty, and briny. This is a stout designed for dark beer joy. I love oysters. I love stouts. I think I'm going to be happy with this, or I'm hoping that I'm going to be very pleased with this because it sounds amazing. 5.6% alcohol by volume. Okay, let's go ahead and get into it. Thank you, Caitlin, for providing me with this can. I appreciate it. Let's pour it up. It's a good looking beer. Nice two-finger dark tan head. Relatively creamy head at that. It is a milk stout, so definitely getting the creaminess on the head. The appearance itself, jet black. It's completely opaque. Can't see through it. Holding it up to the light, not seeing anything at all through it. Looks like a good stout. Let's get an aroma on it. Very roasty. Roasty toasty. Malt character coming through right up front. Dark toasted bread. Maybe a little bit of dark chocolate. Nothing on the aroma that would indicate that there are oysters in here. There's no saltiness or anything that screams oysters, just on the aroma. My guess is that the oysters, that brininess is going to come through a little bit on the palate. But on the aroma, dark roasted malt, nice bready notes, light dark chocolate. That's pretty much it. Although, hold on. The more I smell it, the more I'm picking up. And there is a little bit of like a saltiness on the aroma. But it takes a little while to come through because you have to get past the dark roasted malt, the bready notes, and that dark chocolate. It's in the background, but it's there. Okay, nice head retention. A little bit of glass lacing is already starting to form. It's a great looking beer in the glass, great aroma. So without further ado, let's get into this brew. Cheers. Mm, it's really enjoyable. Dark roasted malt coming up at you right up front. Um, Definitely getting the breadiness, the like dark toasted bread, not burnt, but very dark toasted bread notes. A little bit of dark chocolate. The salt is coming through. The brininess from the oysters is coming through. I wouldn't necessarily say that there's like oyster flavor. It doesn't taste like an oyster per se, but you're getting that brininess. You're getting that saltiness. The essence of the ocean is coming through. A little bit of dark chocolate, but it's not sweet at all. You're just getting, the darkest of the dark chocolates. The roasty, toasty, bready notes are it's such a robust beer for 5.6% beer. A lot of bready malt character, roastiness, maybe a little bit of coffee in there as well, just from the roasted malt. Obviously, they don't add coffee to this beer, but there is a little bit of that coffee, like bitterness that you get when you drink coffee just straight up, just black. You're getting some of that bitterness. This is really, it's a lot different than maybe what I'm used to, but it has that nice stout base that you get with a really good classic stout. I'm trying to think of an example. I mean, Guinness is a great example. It's a classic beer. Everybody's had Guinness, right? But this is more robust than Guinness. A lot more bready malt character, more body to it. Stillwater on Fleek, a lot like that. That's a 13% beer, though. This one is 5.6. Dragon Stout, maybe. Just a good, robust, standard stout. You're getting all of that bready malt character, all of that, great roasty, toasty breadiness with a little bit of coffee just from the darkness, the deepness of the roast from the roasted barley malt, and then that brininess, that oceanic flavor is coming in to play. It's really nice. It's a nice balance between sweet and salty and robust. Man, this is a tough one to rate. I definitely think it's in the A range. A little bit of caramel is starting to come through now as well. And the brine, that saltiness is picking up a little bit, but it's just such a nice balance with everything else that's going on in the beer. I think it works really well together. And it does have a relatively creamy mouthfeel, being that it's a milk stout. You are getting that creaminess. So you're getting a creamy note, a little bit of salty note, a little bit of sweetness, a little bit of robustness, a little bit of astringency and coffee bitterness. It's like hitting on every point. Really enjoyable beer. I'm just going to go with a solid A. I'm going to go right down the middle and say that this is a 95 out of 100. I'm really digging this beer. I've had several Oyster Stouts over the years. This may be the best one that I've had. It's not too briny, and, it's not too much. It's just very well balanced. I'm kind of at a loss here. It's just it's a very enjoyable beer. Definitely the best beer that I've had from the Duck-Rabbit Craft Brewery, and it could be because it's got a fresher date on it than some of the other beers that I've had from them. But this one is actually out of North Carolina, and the freshness date is much fresher than the stuff that I've had in the past from them. And then you had, can versus bottle could make a difference as well. But yeah, definitely a solid A beer. Even if you don't like oysters, I think you might enjoy this beer because there's a little bit of the ocean in there, right? Just a little brininess. There's nothing in here that really reminds me of oysters. It just reminds me of the ocean. Uh, taking a little, getting a little salt water in your mouth when you're at the beach type of thing. But it just has such complementary flavors with the dark roasted barley malt, that dark chocolate, that coffee bitterness. So sweet and salty. I mean, it just hits on everything, like I said. So 95 out of 100 for the Black Pearl Oyster Milk Stout from the Duck-Rabbit Brewery out of Farmville, North Carolina. Buy it, try it. Let me know what you guys think. That'll do it for this beer review. Hope you're all having a wonderful day. And until next time, everybody, cheers.